Welcome to the WVU football post-game chat. I'm Todd Murray along with Ed Owens, our WVU writer, and another tough Big 12 loss for the Mountaineers. They go to Austin and lose 33-16. Exactly what they didn't want to happen happened. They got off to a tough start, and it seemed like they just couldn't recover.
Yeah, absolutely. This makes two in a row for WVU, and the guys during the week vowed they weren't going to let that TCU loss beat them against Texas, and I don't know that you could say anything else happened. They were really struggling early on in this game, if you want to call it a hangover. Dana Holgorsen wouldn't use those exact words. He said put the blame on him. He didn't have his guys ready to go. Tony Gibson said they would have been better off not getting off the bus on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there was a lot of regrets about the way that first half went. I mean, if you want to salvage it, Dana said give his guys some credit. They showed up in the second half. I mean, if you're looking for a pat on the back, I guess you could say that. But the way they started that game was pretty rough. They fell in a hole early. Too little, too late. They weren't able to get the comeback, and now two in a row for them as they're heading down the stretch.
You touched on the defense, true Jekyll and Hyde. Awful in the first half, much improved in the second half. We saw some things that first half we haven't seen all year. Guys just totally missing tackles and blown coverages. What was going on there?
Yeah, Gibson talking about the game, he said they knew Tyrone Swoops wasn't going to be able to beat them with his arm. And he didn't. He really struggled in the passing game. They didn't have to throw the ball too much because they were so effective on the ground. You had Jonathan Gray go for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. You had Malcolm Brown go for almost 100 yards. Especially early on, the run game was really effective for Texas. They were getting big chunks and doing it consistently. WVU did not have an answer on the ground. As you mentioned, a lot of missed tackles, a lot of diving and coming up with nothing but air for WVU's defenders. Tony Gibson was pretty disgusted with the way his team played in the first half. Again, silver lining, second half they came back. They played like the WVU defense we've seen a lot of this year. But that first half, they weren't able to get it done with WVU's offense struggling. I mean, it all kind of contributed, snowballed, and they got that big deficit. Couldn't overcome it.
Right, now they head into the bye week and will not return to action until November 20th when Kansas State comes in here. 2 regular season games remaining. What now for this team?
Yeah, I think everybody over in the Pushkar Center right now is happy to be heading into a bye week. I think the guys are beat up a little physically, definitely beat up mentally after these 2 losses. I think they have to regroup. They have to figure out what's working for them and what isn't. I don't think it's a time you can make wholesale changes. It's too late in the season. You kind of are what you are at this point. But I think what they want to do is just be able to be consistent with it. Defensively, get back to what got them the accolades early in the year. Offensively, they've kind of struggled. We didn't really touch on it here, but they've been hit or miss offensively, and it seems like they haven't been able to put that complete game together in a while now. So I think they need to find out what they're doing, maybe refine it a little bit. They don't have time to make big changes, but you've got a tough Kansas State team coming in. Then you're closing the game closing the season with a Thanksgiving game at Iowa State. So 2 tough ones, I think, for WVU, and it's really going to say a lot about how well this team can bounce back.
Right, absolutely. Ed, thanks for your time, and please continue to follow our WVU football coverage of thedpost.com.